Good evening, and welcome to the Epsilon Pi Tau Gamma Phi chapter of the State of Connecticut Community and Technical Colleges induction ceremony. The ceremony that you're about to see is over 90 years old, and it has changed very little over those 90 years. And the language is a little flowery, and you can tell it's from the 1920s. So I hope you enjoy this and try to learn a little as you go through about the history and the ideals and the philosophy of Epsilon Pi Tau.
Oh, Honorable Basileus, someone seeks admittance from the apprentice's room.
Give attention to the seeker.
Who seeks to be admitted?
Hegemon, with apprentices who, having studied, served, and searched for new knowledge, now seek to participate in the work and ideals of this honor society.
Have their past records been thoroughly evaluated?
Their records have been thoroughly investigated and appraised.
Are they deemed worthy of membership in Epsilon Pi Tau?
They are recommended for this honor.
Apprentices, if you desire to become members of this honorary society, answer I do. So I think that's Kevin's cue to go to the chat and put in I do.
That's perfect.
Are we all there, Kevin? All 11?
Yes.
The answer is satisfactory. I will make your request known to the Honorable Basileus. Honorable Basileus, Hegemon waits at the threshold with the apprentices who desire to be admitted.
Have you ascertained the worthiness of these apprentices?
All preliminaries leading to the admittance of the apprentices have been satisfactorily completed.
Order them admitted that they may proceed with their enlightenment.
The Honorable Basileus commands you to present the apprentices.
What strangers have crossed our threshold?
Apprentices who desire to participate in the work and benefits of our honorary. By your leave, Honorable Basileus, I present the following apprentices.
Angel Alicia, Nathan Barnes, Jason Bartosiak, Jacob Balnoth, Comey Buono, Deanna Burns, Cheyenne Canizaro, Cody Kavanaugh, Jacon Conlon, Aaron Ellington, Solo Felipe, Brendan Gale, Troy Gilbert, Noah Hanson, Michael Hart, Blake Korposinski, Kongping Lor, Skylar Mitchell, Joseph Mu Pao, Stephen Alouette, Abby Parkman, Kamani Rattray, Nicholas Russo, Dylan Silkey, Matthew Tuttle, Greg Woodward, Gian Abdelmalek, Colin Donahue, Francesca Guerre, Gregory Thomas, Genoe Ellis, Alberto Labrada, Michael Miller, Worlby Sampson, Nicola Bernard, Anson Melick, Blake Melling, Rachel Christiana, Alexander Foster, Mia Giacometti, Christopher Marquez, John Sorzewski, John Thiel, Richard Vega. Thomas Bickelhaupt Jr., Taylor Honeyman, Christina Lewis, John Pixley, Kyle Reed, Kevin Winkleman Jr., Rebecca Derry, Jordan Dzedik, Sydney Marshall, Francesca Neris, Caitlin Pachkovsky, Edgar Peterson, Cynthia Pitcher, Jesse Paprota, Tyson Winchell, Jermel Adile, Madison Britton, Blake Brochu, Tori Burgess, Jean Charles, Jessica Cogsall, Sergio Coletti, Emmy Delcid, Catherine Duiron, Mauricio Duarte, Jacob Fontaine, Philip Kerr, Alan Leon, Jennifer Paul, Glenn Perez, Tarina Richardson, William Tate, Raymond Arsenault, Chris Gebhardt, Josh Glatt, Hoy Ingo, Anthony Reyes, Aubrey Strong, Matthew Wright, Cody Kavanaugh.
The report will suffice. Apprentices, if you desire to become members, you may type I do or I agree. I know of no reason why the apprentices should not be advanced in Epsilon Pi Tau. Hegeman, conduct the apprentices to the learner's seat where they will be given further instructions. Give heed, O seekers of enlightenment, to historiographers who will unfold for you the records of Epsilon Pi Tau.
Friends, it is my pleasure and opportunity as historian to reveal to you the story and development of Epsilon Pi Tau. Since the dawn of civilization, people of like minds and kindred purposes have banded together for the advancement of their common welfare and the more complete integration of the social structure. Noble minds have brought forth noble professional organizations that have fostered ideals to fruition and have spurred into action those retiring souls whom the world might have suffered to pass unheard and unsung. These bonds among kindred minds have vanquished the tyrant, enlightened the masses, elevated right above might, deposed the demagogue, and imparted into each individual the wisdom that formerly abided in only the favored few. In no less lofty ideals was Epsilon Pi Tau Honorary conceived and born. Early in the year 1928, a small group of scholars gathered periodically about a seminar table at The Ohio State University. Visioning a need for an organization of mutually interested minds, they began to study the feasibility of a Greek letter honorary for the academic fields and professional practice areas we now associate with technology. The seed thus sown germinated into a tentative organization that undertook to prepare a statement of ideals and to recommend ways and means by which these ideals might be fostered and perpetuated. Many and vigorous were the discussions before an agreement was reached. The tangible results of these deliberations may be seen in the dynamic history of this honor society. While several generations have passed since the committee reflected so profoundly, its ideals apply even as new professional fields emerge and existing fields are reconceived. The ideals are also appropriate to new and emerging professions that continue to evolve in every area of the enterprise and service sectors of society in response to technological developments. In fact, Epsilon Pi Tau currently enjoys a unique place in the annual conference programs of several professional organizations and is recognized as the official honor society of the International Technology and Engineering Educators Association, the Association of Technology, Management, and Applied Engineering, and is welcomed by many other state, national, and international organizations. The ideals of this honorary will assuredly endure. Listen well, apprentices, as the ideals are disclosed to you. The first of these is to esteem the function of technological capability and skill as it applies to the professions in technology. The second is to promote social and professional proficiency, not only in the more restricted context of the individual with others, but also in the broader relationships of our profession in the whole of society. The third is to foster and reward research and to respect, value, and use the products of scholarly endeavor. These ideals, with all that they mean, have been bequeathed to you by the founders of Epsilon Pi Tau. The consuming desire of this early committee was to lay a sound foundation for the building of a stable organization through which our members and professions might be stimulated to healthy growth and continuous progress. Apprentices, we believe these ideals will attract and inspire any person who is to contribute to the leadership of our programs. They may be summed up in three cardinal concepts. First, the capability to appreciate the role and implications of technology and to use its products judiciously and skillfully. Second, a disposition and ability to achieve professional ideals. And third, a desire and capacity to engage in or benefit from the search for truth. These three concepts are expressed by the Greek words technike, pragmatia, and exegesis. They constitute the philosophy of Epsilon Pi Tau. And now, my friends, as historian, I challenge you to develop and make the most of your capacities through the years and to be ever mindful of the philosophy just unfolded in the ideals of Epsilon Pi Tau. Through them, it is your opportunity to go far.
Historiographers has revealed in part the history of our honorary. Listen now to the lesson of our first counselor, technike.
Technike. Behold technike, and it represents the ideal of technological capability and skill and the use of technology to utilize resources for extension of human potential. Soon after humans inhabited the earth, technological capability and skill were born. When the first stone was used as a tool, technike began to develop. The molding of bronze and iron to our will was a significant advancement for technike. Today, technike is manifest in systems and processes related to information, organizations, and materials. Through its magic, materials are shaped into countless objects of beauty and utility. The wealth of the land, the sea, and the sky is developed. Life is improved and extended, and we undertake the challenges presented by new frontiers that evolve out of existing fields such as information technology, nanotechnology, biomedicine, artificial intelligence, and alternative energies. The achievements of technike are many, and no person has yet foreseen their end. I counsel you to cultivate technike with diligence. And now we would have an apprentice take this bar to the table of the Honorable Basilus and do as she commands.
Consider the place of Technicate and what it brings. To those who have learned the power of technological capability may be confident that they now possess the sole key to success and may believe that this alone will win. But experience teaches us that other characteristics are essential to a well-rounded life. So give heed to our second counselor, Pragmatia, who will instruct you further.
Listen to Pragmatia, to social and professional proficiency. I don't have my bar at my house, but it would be the next one. Though Technique has enabled us to creatively use the resources of nature, Pragmatia was also needed if the desire for growth and service was to be realized. When we have learned the lesson of Pragmatia, we are able to live in peace and with profit among ourselves, and to assume an effective place in our society. When we take Pragmatia to heart, we are armored with an invulnerable defense against defeat and frustration of our ideals. Only then are we able to, in truly great measure, to reap the rewards of our skill. But Pragmatia is not lightly won. To achieve it, you must know and respect others and must subordinate yourself in showing consideration for them. Remember that you profit most when you further the interests of your profession and contribute to the advancement of society. Stern, unremitting effort is required to hold oneself in check and to think of professional and social needs first. Yet, if you would learn by trial and error, by observation and practice, by taking thought and seeking truth, how you may become an effective member of this honorary and of other groups, remember always that you would succeed. You must achieve Pragmatia. At this point, we would have an apprentice bear the white bar to the triangle, and they would take a pin. At this point, I would say, apprentice, you have learned that for success, you must unite Pragmatia with Technique. Even so, with this golden pin, join the emblems of the two counselors who have spoken.
Behold, apprentices, to added extent the power of the two bars. With two precepts, we can progress further than with one. Yet there is something missing that would ensure completeness and stability in our symbolism of the principles of life. Listen, therefore, to our third counselor, asceticis.
This golden bar of asceticis, or research as it uses, is the emblematic of the search for truth and represents the chief instrument of progress, not only for our honorary, but also for the whole human race. Long after we achieve the molding of nature to our desire through the exercise of technological capability and skill, or technique, long after we've learned to live in a society through the practice of social and professional proficiency, or Pragmatia, we learn the power of asceticis. To what ends do people toil? For what purposes do they participate in social groups? The best means of achieving those ends, of fulfilling those purposes, is through asceticis, or research. To those who come with open minds and seek by objective methods, asceticis slowly but surely reveals the precious grains of truth that lead the way from darkness to light. Less and less shall the will of the tyrant or the glittering generalities of the demagogue direct our destinies. The seeker, the thinker, is more and more the one who leads. Listen to the words of Burton Braley, selected from his poem, The Thinker. Although imaginary depicts our technological heritage, the message of the power of research endures. Back of the beating hammer by which steel is wrought. Back of the workshop's clamor, the seeker may find, though, the thought that is ever master of iron and steam and steel that rises above disaster and tramples it under heel. Might of the warring boiler, force of the engine's thrust, strength of the sweating toiler. Greatly in these we trust, but back of them stands the schemer, the thinker who drives things through. Back of the job, the dreamer, who's making the dream come true. Apprentices. The poem is a miniature of the function and place of asceticism, to dream and dream that truth reveals, and then work to make that dream come true. And equal to that, I counsel you to make asceticism your constant companion. Strive diligently to be objective, to suspend judgment until all facts are known, and to support assertions with data and factual information. The wind's admiration of colleagues and contributes mightily to successful leadership. Master the ways of research and use them honestly, for though asceticism comes the truth, the supreme Althea. The apprentice would take the emblem, the symbol of asceticism, and place it in position before the honorable Basilus.
Apprentice, even as was linked technically to pragmatia, with these golden pens now linked asceticism to technicate and pragmatia. You will now observe the stability that is the result of the interlocking of technological capability and skill, social and professional proficiency, and research. Nothing can shake the strength of these three. They mutually reinforce one another. Moreover, that which is without significance formed is now imbued with all the attributes of the triangle. That you may better understand the significance of this symbol, give heed, apprentices, to historiographos, as the history of the triunity in the development of humanity is unfolded to you.
The concept of three, or triunity, was a potent factor in the early history of humanity. But the origin of the triangle is shrouded in the mists of dim antiquity. The properties of the triangle must have been known about 3700 BC, for the first king of the fourth dynasty of Egypt used it in designing and constructing the Great Pyramid. The triangle ranks as a most important figure. It's the simplest that can be drawn with straight lines. Without knowledge of the properties of the triangle, the science of geometry would have been impossible. At one time, the equilateral triangle was considered a sacred symbol. It was common in the Phoenician, Egyptian, Greek, and other ancient languages. Whenever an oath of importance was taken in the days of Pythagoras, it was administered on the equilateral triangle. Our honorary has chosen to reflect the constructive and stable qualities of this ancient symbol as emblematic of the ideals of Epsilon Pi Tau as presented to you by our three counselors, Technicae, Pragmatia, and Asceticis.
And so, if you would develop your potentialities to the utmost, you must cultivate and maintain within you Technicae, Pragmatia, and Asceticis. The honorary will assist you in the process of your personal and professional growth, development. Its members have chosen to admit you to their number because of their belief in your ability to grow. Don't disappoint them. Put forth your best effort, strive and succeed. The opportunity is yours. And now, one ceremony remains. What we would have at this point, I will repeat the obligation of the, or the oath of the honorary, and I will state this. And at the end, where I say, I solemnly pledge my word, after that, you can then type in the chat box, I agree. And the obligation of Epsilon Pi Tau will not conflict with your obligation to your God, your country, or other people. So in reading the oath of, or the obligation of the honorary, says, I am, if we were in person, you would state your full name. On my honor, do solemnly promise, in the presence of the members of this honorary, to respect, uphold, and defend the ideals of Epsilon Pi Tau. I agree to abide by the laws, rules, decrees, and actions of the honorary. I pledge my word to endeavor to perfect myself in technicate, in pragmatia, in ecstaticis, to honor and respect these three in the works and efforts of others, whether members of the honorary or not. To all this, I pledge my solemn word. Now, at this time, you may type, I agree. We will now hear from our trustee concerning the international programs of the honorary.
Thank you, Honorable Bosselus. You know, this is 8 years that I have served as executive director of Epsilon Pi Tau. And it's amazing that every time that I hear this ceremony, and I've seen it well over 100 times now, I keep finding new things. And the last 3 or 4 times that I've read through this, I've thought about the poem from the thinker, and you know, it's so appropriate to what we do today, as we read through, and I'm serving in the role of historiographos today. In the section where I talked about that our fields are constantly being reconceived, and just think about the last 2 months at how higher education is reconceived. And we live in a different world today than we did when we started the new decade. And it is amazing to me how appropriate that this ceremony still fits. And I would love to have been around in 1928 when they started talking about creating Epsilon Pi Tau and thinking about all the challenges that our field may face. And they wrote this document 90 years ago, and you know, they were very wise in choosing their words, that you know, the philosophy of Epsilon Pi Tau, it fits 90 years later. And so I hope that as you hear this ceremony over and over and over through the rest of your professional career, that it means as much to you as it does to me. So I have been on the campus at a lot of different schools, and I've been on the campus at the University of Texas at Tyler, and I've been on campus at Manchester Community College in Manchester, Connecticut, and I've seen the colors from each one of the tables. And so when I've been at Tyler, the table of the Honorable Bosselus has the school colors. The same thing in Connecticut. When I go to Clemson, I see the school colors from Clemson. Ohio State, it's the same. And that's the unique part about the ceremony that you go through, is it matches up with your region or your school. The 3 counselors that you heard from, Technicate, Pragmatia, and Ecstaticis, they have a blue tablecloth, a white tablecloth, and a gold tablecloth. Those, we've chosen those to be the colors of Epsilon Pi Tau. And so all of our materials have those colors. So you'll see those everywhere you go. So if you go to our chapter we just approved in Stuttgart, Germany, you'll see their colors, but you'll also see the blue, white, and gold. And so those will be consistent no matter where you go. Everyone today, new initiates, you are inducted as general members. And if you serve the profession well, you will be recognized as laureate members. And so the next level of membership is called the laureate citation. And I hope that you all stay members long enough to earn the laureate citation. And then our lifetime achievement level membership is called the distinguished service citation. And so I hope that that you all achieve that as well. And you know, from the international office, I'm in North Carolina right now, but our international office in Bowling Green, Ohio, it's about halfway between Cleveland and Detroit, right up in the corner of Ohio at Bowling Green State University. And we provide services to all members around the world. And we're lucky enough today to have all of our board of directors present. And I want to introduce them to you as we go through. So Susan Gregg from Wilmington University is the board member from Region 1, and she read the part of Pragmatia today. From Region 2, also our board chair, Jessica Murphy from Jackson State University. And then from Region 3, David Rao from Ohio Northern University. Region 4, Dominic Fazzaro from University of Texas at Tyler. Region 5, Brian Andrus, who is in Edmonton, Alberta, and I did it right that time, Brian. And so those are our 5 regions. We also have a board member for our 2-year schools, and that's Karen Wasina Birch from the Connecticut Community College System. So glad to have our full board here. And these are the leaders of Epsilon Pi Tau globally. And so we've got members all over the world. And it's exciting for me to hear from members either through our Facebook page or our LinkedIn group or just an email that things are going well for them all over the world. New members, you're going to get our magazine twice a year called The Preceptor. You'll get a spring issue and a fall issue. You will also be receiving the Journal of Technology Studies, and that is our refereed journal. So our faculty members will publish in that. And the other thing I want to make you aware of is that you're all now eligible for our awards program, the William E. Warner Awards Program. William E. Warner was our founder, and we have an undergraduate essay award, a graduate student essay award, a graduate student research award. For faculty, we have a mini lectureship award and a professional practice award. That was also available to practitioners. So if you're not in academia, if you go out and work for a company, you're still eligible for the professional practice award. We also have the Chapter of the Year award and the Exemplary Publication Award. And so those are all cash awards. And I would love to see some of you up on the stage with me and our whole board in Denver next year in March. And I'm going to hand out, we budget $18,000 every year for the awards program. And I would love to hand out these checks to you. So Epsilon Pi Tau is a wonderful organization, and I hope that you see it as an organization to be with for life. And you know, I welcome you heartily to Epsilon Pi Tau. So I'm going to turn things back over to our Honorable Bossalus and let her close our ceremony.
Thank you, Executive Director Howell. I declare you members in full standing of the International Honor Society for the Professions in Technology, Epsilon Pi Tau, with all rights and privileges thereto apparent appertaining, excuse me, I counsel you to look well for your development, that you still become worthy members of the honorary. Your trustee will contact you, since we're doing this in a virtual format, your trustees will contact you in lieu of your Epsilon Pi Tau materials, and that would be your Epsilon Pi Tau code, your certificates, and any additional materials that they provided for you.
This is Dr. Vazzaro. I just want to congratulate the new members of the chapter.
And I would like to welcome all the new members as well. Congratulations.
I would second that. Congratulations, all new members.
Congratulations from Region 3.
Congratulations from Region 5.
Congratulations, guys. This is a big thing. You guys have worked hard. We've got the best students here, and I hope you got a lot out of this, and we wish you the best and know you'll go on to do great things. Thank you.
Declare this meeting of Epsilon Pi Tau to be adjourned. Signed, aye. And again, I'm Dr. Jessica Murphy from Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. And from Region 2, I do want to give my heartfelt congratulations and welcome to the honorary.
Yep, congratulations, everybody.
So thank you all for joining. And believe it or not, this will be archived and available on the Epsilon Pi Tau Facebook page at the end of the week. So you'll be able to go back and see the whole ceremony. If you want to share it with any of your family, you'll be able to see the whole ceremony just as we ran it tonight.